Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Today our topic is healing. After inflammation, as you know, the inflammation is the response of living vascularized tissue against any type of injury. After injury, there is a process of healing take place. So, what is healing? Today we see what is healing. Healing beta is the body's response to injury in an attempt to restore normal structure and function. The body is returned back to its normal physiology and normal anatomy is called as the healing. The process of healing involves two distinct processes. In other words, two processes are involved in the healing. These are regeneration and repair. So, before going on to the regeneration and repair, it is very much necessary to know what is the cell cycle, and you can see it is very important. Now here you can see the cell cycle, and you can see three types of cells are there, which are shown with green color, which are shown by the orange color, yellow color, and some are shown by the red color or dark orange in color. So the cell which are green in color, these are labile cell, and these labile cells are present and remain in the growth phase. They have the ability and they reconstitute or they renew themselves continuously. So these are called labile cells. They show the prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, and the M phase, G1, S, G2 phase. So these are continuously renew themselves. These are called as labile cell. The second variety of the cell is the stable cells, which are not present in the cell cycle, but they have the ability to enter in the cell cycle when there is a need due to any pathology, due to any physiology. They have the ability to renew themselves to generate new cells. These are called as stable cells. The third variety of the cell, as you can see with the orange color, dark orange in color, or the red color, these are called permanent cells. They leave the cell cycle. They are not present in the cell cycle. They have no ability to regenerate on type of the cell. So when they are damaged, they are not replaced by the same type of the cell. Why? Because they leave the cell cycle. They are not present in the cell cycle. They have no ability to enter into the cell cycle and produce original type of the cell. So on the basis of these, there are three type of the cell: labile, stable, and permanent type of the cells. Now here you can see the cell cycle. What is cell cycle? Defined as the period between two successive cell division. The period between two cell division, the period is called as cell cycle. M, as I have shown, mitosis phase. Phase of mitosis, in which the mitosis is take place and cell is divided into 2, 4, etc. G1 is the gap 1 phase. Daughter cell enter G1 phase after mitosis. S is the synthesis. Synthesis of the nuclear DNA take place in this phase. G2 is the Cap2 after completion of nuclear DNA duplication. After completion of nuclear DNA, cell enter in this stage G2 phase, and G0 is the Cap0 phase, quiescent or resting phase of the cell. Mostly the stable cells are present in this phase. They are leave the cell cycle, but they have ability to re-enter into the cell cycle. So G0 phase is for the stable type of the cell, or also they are called as these stable cell conditional renewal. When there is any pathology, when there is any pathology, physiological need, they can enter into the cell cycle and regenerate. Now, again, we see what are the type of the cell. Number one, labile cell continue to multiply throughout the life. For examples, as you know, surface epithelial cells of epidermis, alimentary tract cells, respiratory tract, urinary tract, vagina, cervix, uterine endometrium, hemopoietic cells of the bone marrow, and the cells of the lymph node and spleen. All these cells are labile cells, and they have the ability to produce same type of the cell. They are called as labile cells. The second variety is the stable cells. Stable cells decrease or lose their ability to proliferate but retain the capacity to multiply in response to stimuli. As I have told you, when there is any pathological need, when there is any physiological need, they can enter into the cell cycle and produce or to regenerate themselves. Examples of the stable cells are parenchymal cells of the liver, pancreas, kidney, adrenal gland, thyroid gland, and the mesenchymal cells like smooth muscle cell, fibroblast, vascular endothelial cell, bone and cartilage cells. All these are the stable cells and they are called as the conditional renewal. When they have any pathology, when there any physiological need, they can enter into the cell cycle and regenerate themselves. The third variety is the permanent cells. Permanent cell lost their ability to proliferate. As I have told you, they leave the cell cycle. They are not present in the cell cycle. They have no ability to re-enter into the cell cycle. So when they are lost, they are not regenerate. They are replaced by other type of the cells. Examples of the permanent cells are neurons of the nervous system, skeletal muscle and cardiac muscle. Another is the photoreceptor of the retina. All these are the permanent cells and they have no ability to regenerate themselves. So now move on to the, we see what is regeneration and what is repair. What is the difference between these two? Regeneration means the replacement of the damaged tissue with native tissue, native original tissue. Depend on the regenerative capacity of tissue. Labile tissue possesses stem cells that continuously cycle to regenerate the tissue. Stable tissues are comprised of cells that are quiescent G0 phase but can re-enter the cell cycle to regenerate tissue when necessary. So other name is conditional renewal cell. So these two cells, labile and stable cell, when they are damaged, when they are destroyed, they have the ability to regenerate and produce same type of the cell. So it is the regeneration. The second is the, now first the regeneration, now the mechanism of the regeneration, how regeneration take place. Regeneration of any type of cell involves the following processes. Number one, proliferation of original cells from the margins of the injury. As you know, the labile and stable cells are present at the site of the wound. So first of all, they proliferate, they multiply, and then they migrate from the margins of the injury to the site of the injury. After proliferation, migration of cell, as I have told you. Third is the proliferation of migrated cell. When they reach at the site of the wound, they again proliferate, they again divide. And then there is a differentiation and maturation. They become mature cells. And then they reconstitute the original tissue and cover the gap. The gap, what is gap? Gap which is produced due to the damage, which is produced due to the inflammation. The gap wound which is produced is replaced by the same type of the tissue, same type of the cell. This is the regeneration. Now the second is the repair. Replacement of the damaged tissue with fibrous scar occur when regenerative stem cells are lost, when a tissue lack regenerative capacity. As I have told you, the permanent cells have no ability to enter in the cell cycle and to produce same type of the cell. So when they are destroyed, they are not replaced by the same type of the cell. They are replaced by the fibrous tissue. And other time when all the labile cells are destroyed due to the extensive injury. When due to the extensive injury all the stable cells are not there, then again repair is taking place. Not only in the permanent cell, when all the labile cell, when all the stable cells are not present there, or they are destroyed due to the extensive injury due to any kind, when they are not present at the site, they are also replaced by fibrous tissue. And also the permanent type of the cell is also replaced by the fibrous tissue. So it is the basic difference between the regeneration and replacement by the fibrous tissue. Now, the growth factor. First of all, we see the what are the growth factors involved in regeneration and repair. Not all the factors. Some factors are involved in regeneration, some are involved in repair. Number one is the epidermal growth factor. These epidermal growth factor release from macrophages, salivary glands, keratinocytes. Keratinocytes are those cells which release the keratin. So epidermal growth factor is released by these cells, these sites, and these are mitogenic for keratinocytes, and also they causes the migration of these keratinocytes and formation of granulation tissue. Granulation tissue we study in the inshallah in the next lecture when we study the repair, in which this granulation tissue is produced. The second is the transforming growth factor alpha. These transforming growth factor alpha is released from macrophages, keratinocyte, and their function is to stimulate proliferation of keratinocyte and many other epithelial cells. As you know, the keratin is the epithelial, keratinocytes are the epithelial cell. So these not stimulate only the keratinocyte, other epithelial cells. So this is the transforming growth factor alpha. Now the third one is the hepatocyte growth factor. These hepatocyte growth factor are released from the fibroblast, stromal cells of the liver, and endothelial cells. Stromal cells means the supporting cells. One is the parenchyma, other is stromal cell, which are connective tissue, which are the supporting cell. So these hepatocyte growth factor are released from these cells, and they enhance the proliferation of hepatocyte, epithelial cell, and increase cell motility. Motility, increase cell motility or movement to the site of the injury. Fourth is the vascular endothelial growth factor. Vascular endothelial growth factor. It released from the mesenchymal cell, and its function is to stimulate proliferation of the endothelial cell, increase vascular permeability. Its major function is also in the granulation tissue. Granulation tissue, as I have told you in previous lecture, granulation tissue is the newly formed tissue which is formed at the site of the wound. In this newly formed tissue, blood vessels are there. So these vascular endothelial growth factor main function is in the granulation tissue formation. Fifth one is the platelet derived growth factor. These platelet derived growth factor are released from the platelet, macrophages, endothelial cell, smooth muscle cells, and the keratinocyte. And these platelet derived growth factor, as you know, these are the chemoattractive factor for neutrophil, macrophages, fibroblast, and smooth muscle. Chemotaxis means their factors are these cells are attract at the site of the chemicals. So this is the chemical. Platelet derived growth factor is the chemical which attract the neutrophil, macrophages, and fibroblasts. Other function of this platelet derived growth factor is activate and stimulate proliferation of fibroblasts and endothelial cells. Other factor is the fibroblast growth factor. These are two, many variety of the fibroblast growth factor are there, where two are important: fibroblast growth factor 1 and fibroblast growth factor 2. These are released from the macrophages, mast cells, endothelial cells. And these are chemotactic and mitogenic for fibroblasts. So they attract the fibroblasts, and they also causes the mitosis or increased production of the fibers. And it also stimulates the angiogenesis. It also causes the extracellular matrix protein synthesis. So fibroblast blast growth factor is also take part in granulation tissue formation. Number 7 is the transforming growth factor beta. The transforming growth factor beta is released from platelet, T lymphocyte, macrophages, endothelial cell, smooth muscle cells, and the fibroblast. And it is chemotactic factor for leukocyte and fibroblast, stimulate extracellular matrix protein synthesis, and suppress the acute inflammation. As I have told you, at some stage, it is necessary to suppress the inflammation. So this is the factor. Transforming growth factor beta is responsible to suppress the acute inflammation. Number 8 the keratinocyte growth factor. These keratinocyte growth factor is released from the fibroblast, and its function is to stimulate keratinocyte migration, proliferation, and differentiation. These 8 are the most important. Other factors are there, other side types are there, but these are the most important factors which involve in healing process. Now, the factors influencing healing. What are the factors which disturb the healing? Factors which increase the healing. So, the local factors. Infection. As you know, when there is infection is there, the healing is always there. Healing is delayed when the microbial agent is there, when the microbes are there, when there is an infection is there. So always healing is delayed when infection is there. So it is very much necessary to completely eradicate the infection, then healing is taking place rapidly. The other factor is the poor blood supply. If blood supply is not present there, so the factors are not reaching at the site of the wound, and they delay the healing. Other is the foreign body. If including sutures interfere with healing, and when the foreign body present there, they causes the inflammatory reaction and infection. And again, as you know, infection always delay the healing, always delay the healing. Other is the movement, undue movement. Some movement is necessary for the circulation of the blood, but when undue movement is taking place at the flexor surface, so it also delay the healing of the wound which are present on different surfaces. uh, Other factor is exposure to ionizing radiation. Always ionizing radiation delay the granulation tissue formation. So it is always necessary to avoid the radiation during the phase of the healing. Other factor is exposure to the ultraviolet violet light facilitate the healing. Mostly the ultraviolet light eradicate the microorganism, bacteria at the site of the wound, and they facilitate the healing, improve the healing. The last factor is the type, size, and location of injury. Type, when the wound is clear cut, when it is clean, when it is not ragged, they are healed very rapidly. And if the wound is dirty, when the wound is large, when the wound is ragged, when the wound is caused by the road traffic accident, the healing is delayed in most of the time. Size, as you know, the if the size of the wound is small, it heal rapidly. If the wound is large in size, the healing is delayed. Location of injury, if these wounds are present at the site where we causes the more movement, though, so in these cases the healing is also late, or delayed. So the type, size and location of injury is also important in healing process. Now the systemic factor, age. First of all, age. Healing is rapid, mostly in young and slow in aged and debilitated people due to poor blood supply. Debilitated means they are a disease patient, they have chronic illness. So healing is rapid. Healing is taking place rapidly in younger, in babies, and late or delayed in aged, old people. Nutrition, as you know, the nutrition is very much necessary for the healing process. So deficiency of constituent like protein, vitamin C and zinc also delay the healing. So the proper diet, proper vitamins, proper nutrition is necessary if a person is having a wound. Other is the systemic infection. When a person have a systemic infection which involve the many organ, these systemic infection can delay the healing of the wound. Other is the administration of glucocorticoid. As you know, the steroid has anti-inflammatory effect. If we use steroid or for a prolonged period of the time, for a much period of the time, it also delay the healing of the wound. So administration of glucocorticoid also delay the healing of the wound. Number fifth is the uncontrolled diabetes. If a patient have the diabetes, they are also prone to the infection. And as you know, when infection is there, when microbial agent is there, they also delay the healing. Sixth is the hematological abnormalities like defect of neutrophil function, neutropenia, bleeding disorder, like the hemophilia, deficiency of the any factor, clotting factor. They also delay the healing of the wound. And these, if these are normal in amount, they are present in there is no bleeding disorder there, the healing is occur rapidly. So all these are the some local and systemic function which affect the wound healing. So when a person have a wound, it is very much necessary that undue movement is avoided. It is try to clean the wound. There is no foreign body is there, and try to provide perfect nutrition, vitamins and protein to the patient. These are the factors which improve the healing, which rapidly develop the granulation tissue and healing process. So thank you. सलीम भाई, बस ओपन कर देंगे, पूछना है कोई क्वेश्चन?
हाँ बस खत्म थे और मैम
बेटा कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना है तो आप बेटा पूछ सकते हो, और आपको समझ में आया?
मैम आप स्लाइड्स शेयर कर देंगी?
कोई क्वेश्चन हो तो आप पूछ सकते हो. एनी क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम दिस टॉपिक?
हाँ हेलो
मैम स्लाइड्स शेयर कर सकते हैं आप?
Beta, glucocorticoid or steroid have the anti-inflammatory effect, and as you know, the inflammation is the defense mechanism of the body, and it is the response of living vascularized tissue, and it is very much important. Why? Because the inflammation lead to the different neutrophils and these other cells to reach at the site of the injury, and they release different mediators. And if we use the glucocorticoid, and inflammation is delayed, and when the inflammation is delayed, healing process is also delayed. As you know, the different healing products are released by these inflammatory cells.
मैम आप स्लाइड्स शेयर
बेटा
कर
और
सकते
कोई
हैं?
क्वेश्चन है? स्लाइड सेंड कर देंगे आप, और कुछ कोई क्वेश्चन हो तो पूछ सकते हैं बेटा, स्लाइड सेंड कर दी जाएगी आपको. बेटा आपने जो लेक्चर था आपको समझ में आया है? अंडरस्टैंड ऑल दीज पॉइंट्स?
Yes, ma'am.
डिस्कस करेंगे इंशाल्लाह इन द नेक्स्ट। बेटा हाउ आयोनाइजिंग रेडिएशन डिले द हीलिंग। आयोनाइजिंग रेडिएशन जो है वो डैमेज करते हैं, आपको पता है कि वो जो है फ्री रेडिकल्स जो है वो निकलते हैं जिसकी वजह से हीलिंग जो है वो डिले हो जाती है। ये आपको सेल इंजरी और एडाप्टेशन में भी आपको पता होगा कि सेल इंजरी का एक इम्पॉर्टेंट कॉज आयोनाइजिंग रेडिएशन है। अल्ट्रावायलेट लाइट जो है वो एज यू नो द अल्ट्रावायलेट लाइट व्हेन दे आर प्रेजेंट दे जो है वो derange the microbial organism, so when the mood is become clear, so healing is rapidly occur. Ultraviolet derange, damage the microbial organism, microbes at the site of injury and clean the wound, and so ultraviolet light improve the healing process. Beta, any other question?
Ultraviolet light doesn't clean.
बेटा मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम जो है यही फैक्टर्स होते हैं ग्रोथ फैक्टर, फिर इनकी सब टाइप्स हैं। जैसे कि अभी हम अगली क्लास में इंशाल्लाह आपको बताऊंगी कि जो है मुख्तलिफ जो जैसे वेस्कुलर एंडोथेलियल ग्रोथ फैक्टर है इसकी भी सब टाइप्स हैं। तो डिफरेंट जो है जो ज़्यादातर जो मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर्स हैं वो यही हैं, फिर इनकी सब टाइप्स हैं और इनकी डिफरेंट फैक्टर्स हैं कि जो कि इन्वॉल्व होते हैं। लेकिन आप सबका ये जो फैक्टर्स हैं जो मैंने 8 फैक्टर्स बताए हैं इन सब का पता होना ज़रूरी है। फिर इनकी सब टाइप्स हैं जो सम टाइम इन्वॉल्व होती हैं और कभी इन्वॉल्व नहीं होती, लेकिन इन 8 फैक्टर्स का आपका जानना और अंडरस्टैंड करना बहुत जरूरी है। अच्छा बेटा बेसिकली these are all these are 8 factors which are mostly involved in the healing of the wound. Other subtypes are there, but these are the most important 8 factors which are involved in the regeneration and repair. Any other question, beta? Any other question? And we, inshallah, we study, we discuss repair in the next lecture, and the first intention healing and the second intention healing. What is the difference between these two, and what is the difference between the regeneration and repair? Ultraviolet light, as I have told you, it derange, destroy microbial organism, microbes. As you know, the ultraviolet light is used for sterilization and disinfection to destroy, to damage the bacteria. So when the wound is become clear, the healing process is rapidly and healing is facilitated by ultraviolet light. Any other question, beta? Any other question? Beta, any other question?
No, ma'am.
बेटा आप लोगों की समझ में आया है? अंडरस्टैंड रीजेनरेशन एंड रिपेयर हीलिंग प्रोसेस?
Yes, ma'am.
कोई कंफ्यूजन?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
हीलिंग का मकसद बेटा फैसिलिटेशन माने ये कि हीलिंग इंप्रूव होती है। अल्ट्रावायलेट लाइट्स आयोनाइजिंग रेडिएशन से डिलेड होती है हीलिंग, और आयोनाइजिंग रेडिएशन से हीलिंग जो है वो रैपिडली होती है, डिलेड नहीं होती। डिलेड जो है वो जो है आयोनाइजिंग रेडिएशन से होती है, और अल्ट्रावायलेट लाइट से जो है वो रैपिडली हीलिंग होती है, क्योंकि ये डैमेज कर देता है, डीरेंज कर देता है माइक्रोबियल ऑर्गेनिज्म और क्लियर कर देता है वूंड को, जिसकी वजह से आयोनाइजिंग अल्ट्रावायलेट लाइट जो है वो हीलिंग को जो है वो रैपिडली करती है, डिले नहीं करती। डिले करती है आयोनाइजिंग रेडिएशन, अल्ट्रावायलेट लाइट जो है वो उसको जल्दी हो जाता है, रैपिडली हो जाता है।
Thank you, madam.
बेटा एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? एनी अदर क्वेश्चन बेटा? समझ में आ रहा है, अंडरस्टैंड? कोई और पॉइंट हो पूछ सकते हैं आप लोग। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन? इंशाल्लाह नेक्स्ट टाइम पे हम लोग रिपेयर, उसकी मुख्तलिफ स्टेजेस ऑफ द रिपेयर, व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन द फर्स्ट इंटेंशन एंड सेकंड इंटेंशन, हम लोग जो इंशाल्लाह देखेंगे। और रीजनरेशन को ज़रूर बेटा रीड कीजिएगा फ्रॉम योर बुक्स एंड फ्रॉम माय लेक्चर। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन बेटा? एनी अदर क्वेश्चन?